and you start to know some of them, to know more about them, because they noticed that I was so fanatic in destruction and power and greed and so on. And they said to me, Ronald, we're not going to destroy this planet, and we keep people on this planet. This is not going to happen what you want. So for me, they were faggots, like, you're weak, we have to go for it. And later, when I was more with colleagues, knowing colleagues, also knowing some of them, I agreed on it. Like, yeah, there are also nice people in this planet. And nice is nice in this way, because they were in the same way as I. They stand in life like full of anger and hate. Because also this top, the top who is not seeing, because they can look at the internet whatever they want, you can't find them. You can't find them.
So none of them are famous? There's no famous people you know who are in that
the best protection, I mean, in my case was the same. I came out of the shadows in 2017. The best protection is not being known at all. So that can be a clochard on the street with a guitar, and he decides we're going to invite that and that country tomorrow. That's the best protection. But one of the things they shared with me from their own youth, that like my youth, I got a lot of recognition and knowing that they were going also through hell. Most of them were also going through hell. So out of the stories they shared with me from their own youth, I noticed that when they were born, they were also broken, completely broken. So they were nothing, like me, and then the family, in their case, start to build them up again, to prepare them for their role in the future. So for me, they became normal people because they were exactly in the line of all my own experience. So that made me also a bit softer about my goals of destruction. Yeah.
So they actually softened you at that point.
Yeah.
And so at this point, you've seen these satanic rituals that are seemingly kind of harmless.
Yeah.
And now you've ascended to a new level of the pyramid, and these people are actually showing you a way that's less destructive.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, what happened that led you to the eventual near-death experience?
Well, there is another thing, it has to be shared as well. In this world, it was in this organization I worked, this worldwide network. It was a sort of military-based, sort of discipline, very tough. You know always what's happening. There was a sort of full control. And not by us, but there was a full control. And you also knew all the agreements you make in your work, in your assignment with others. Everybody is respecting the deals. So there is no tricks, there is no liars, there is no snaky moving. Everybody was strict, disciplined. It was a very easy way of living with each other, working with each other, because you can count on each other. And of course, in the back, in your contract, was a lot of heat, because if you fucked up, you're gonna die, and not in a pleasant way, by torture. So this push in the back, of course, was making it that everybody was, in a way, as an egocentric monster, was working together and also taking care of each other, all on the wrong reasons. But it was perfect. It was a very easy way of living. And then when I started to have my first social responsible project in Holland after being a lot of long years of being hiding in nature, I started doing a project of transforming empty office buildings in places for students and young people to live, small studios, apartments. So it was a very social project who helped local economy and also the young people to have affordable room for a studio. So it was fantastic, only good. But I enter a rabbit hole of snakes, and that's the normal life, the honest way of living with each other. Imagine, unbelievable. The last 15 years, I have to think many times back on my first life, if it's about how to work with each other, that you can count on each other. And of course, when I'm speaking this now, all the people in military, especially commando-trained military, knows exactly what I'm talking about, because it's life-saving. You have to count on your partners, on your colleagues, on your team. And in normal life, you can count nearly on nothing, because it's a field of landmines. I have so much experience now in the last 15 years when I start to come entering the normal world. I didn't have experience with it at all. So I became a baby, making baby steps, and there are so many traps in this world because of greed, because of ambitions. It's unbelievable.
So ironically, in this kind of secretive world of the financial elite, which you would say is a very dark place, I think.
It is.
They were more trustworthy and more reliable, ironically.
Yeah. Many times I think, and this is of course confusion for myself as well, because I never want to go back in this dark satanic world of destruction. But this part is still following me in a way like, why is it not possible that people who give their word, who agree on something, why don't they do it? Why is it always like I'm living in shortness and I want to go over you to take this and that? Because when I have this first foundation in the transformation of office buildings, we were very successful. In 4 years' time, we have paid all the debts. We were making profit, and we're heading for the next project. It was a success in the Netherlands. It was the first time this kind of projects were arranged in a successful way to create solutions. You know what? They take over. I was out of business. So when the pot was filled of money, the greed was entering, and nobody was reliable anymore. And this is constantly happening everywhere in this world. So I start to understand why it is that so many people are also in the program damaged about each other, being nearly paranoid of doing good things in this world. Because in the back, if it's about disasters, how many times we discover later on, if there is a disaster, an earthquake, that the people who are helping to solve, to rescue, how many dark things are coming out later on about money was gone, children were trafficked, whatever. It's unbelievable. So the light manifestation, so to speak, we see many times in this world is a fake one. And I'm not talking about the integrity of the honest people. I'm not talking about the general people, because I think most of the people on this planet want good things. But it's the tiny, tiny group who is always infiltrated everywhere, especially in organizations who present themselves as the light manifestations. In my youth I saw it already with the religion, especially with, of course, the Catholic Church, but that's just because through my own personal experience. And when it was the last 2-3 years, when we have this pandemic of COVID, I was amazed about, for example, a big, huge organization, Christian organization in America, who has a lot of members of denominations. And based on biblical texts, they start to manipulate the people in America about wearing masks and getting the injections and so on. It was an act of love for others. I was amazed. How is it possible that you start to try to manage hundreds of millions of people who are really Christians, real good people, with a very good society life, with helping each other? How is it possible that the top management of this Christian organization start to manipulate the Americans to go in a certain direction based on words in the Bible? Wow. That's just one example.
And you would say they're all somehow tied to the top of that pyramid. Everything's coming down from that. You used the phrase total control.
This whole planet is in full control